AITA for not helping my son and his wife with my grandson. Necessary information: when my oldest son was 16 he got his girlfriend pregnant. After a lot of trouble they made all kinds of promises and decided they would care for the baby. This led to the girl getting kicked out by her parents and she came to live with us. Except that when the baby was born, the girl broke up with my son and went back to her parents' house, leaving the baby with us. That was when my husband and I stepped up to help him raise our granddaughter while our son finished his studies and got a job to provide for her. When she was 1 year old he put her on daycare because my husband and I still worked and there was only so much we could do at that point. Once he finished college he rented a place to live with her. The help we provided after that was when he needed to go somewhere and couldn't take her with him, or when one of them got sick. Now, the issue at hand is not with him. It's with his younger brother. He's 35 and married. He and his wife had my grandson last year. He's 10 months now. My daughter-in-law wants to go back to working, and while she can do her work from home, she prefers to work outside. Since I'm retired, my son asked me to take care of my grandson while they work. I asked him for how long he needed me to do it. To which my son replied that they didn't have a plan for it. I asked if they had considered daycare, and he said that neither he or his wife were comfortable with it. I also suggested they asked his wife's parents, and he said that they didn't have time for it. He thought of asking me because I had helped his brother all those years ago, and it would basically be the same thing. I told him that no, it was not. I was 42 then, and I'm 59 now. I didn't have the health issues that I do nowadays, like back pain and arthritis. Also, he was a married man with a wife by his side, not a 16-year-old with a baby. I would be willing to help them for a short period of time, but it seems like they have no plans beyond leaving the baby with me. Now he thinks I'm playing favorites and that I'm pressuring him and his wife to comply with my demands, but I think I'm just being reasonable. Edit: while it is nice to know that I'm not the asshole, my son has found the post and is now very mad at me for shaming him and his wife on the internet. I disagree, as it was not my intent and I never disclosed any information that could be used to identify them both. He's also very mad about being called an asshole. While he is my son, I find that he needs a wake-up call, since my conversation with him in private about the issue only made him behave like a spoiled child, and his reaction to me looking for input as an anonymous person was to call and yell at me on the phone. I'll let this post stay up and let this be a lesson to him. NTA. It is definitely nowhere near the same situation and he definitely shouldn't be upset you're not interested in being a daycare for the foreseeable future. NTA. Your other son needs to grow up and learn to be a parent. Grandparents aren't free child care. Agree that it shouldn't be assumed that the grandparents will provide childcare. But I noticed that this is pretty common among my more wealthy friends. Their parents retire young and healthy enough to watch the little ones. Meanwhile, in poor families like my own, the grandparents work until they can't and have a multitude of health issues. So then those who were already well off to begin with are able to put what they would have spent on childcare into their 401k. Meanwhile, I'm shoveling out thousands for daycare and student loans on top of that. Basically meaning I will never retire and never be able to watch my own grandkids. It perpetuates a cycle of poverty. NTA. Grandparents are not obliged to provide free daycare. And small kids are exhausting. Tell your son you love him. And you love his child. And if you were 42 again you'd be happy to help out. But at 59 it's just too much. Exactly. The part that really bothers me is that when the concept of daycare came in, the son dismissed it because they're not comfortable with it. That sounds like BS to me. More likely they don't want to spend the money since daycare is expensive. Instead, they want to provide free care for the child and are using the brother situation as an excuse. If the younger son honestly doesn't see the difference between caring for his brother's kid when he was 16 and his 35-year-old ass, then that is his issue. Grandparents should never be expected to be the daycare. It is great if they agree to help, But the son should not be upset if she doesn't want to at her age, or any age for that matter. Sounds like he is bit of an entitled ass. NTA. NTA. You already raised one grandchild. You're older now and have the health issues that come with being older. And your son has more resources to raise this new baby than your other son had to raise the first one. NTA. Your son is a grown man with a child, not a 16-year-old boy. Even your teenage son was able to provide childcare for his baby at a young age. And I would imagine at the time, a worse situation. Your grown son is mad he is being told no. Exactly. They are completely different situations. His brother was 16, a minor himself. And the mother wasn't there to support him. The other son is a fully grown adult with an adult wife to support him who could work from home if she really had or even wanted to. Op is also a lot older and under no obligation to look after the child. It's bizarre that the son cannot see the difference in these circumstances. NTA. You gave your reasons. Conversation should have ended there. Bonus points because the wife can work from home if they absolutely were against daycare. But chooses not to. And it's poor of a grown man who is married, established in life and presumably planned to have this baby, to compare himself to the situation of his then teenage brother, who was a single parent. Working from home when you don't have children is not the same as working from home with children. It's reasonable that the wife doesn't want to work from home and watch the baby at the same time. All suffer in that situation. However, the solution is someone needs to watch the baby, but clearly that person isn't grandma. Maybe they can hire a nanny or an in-home daycare. Both avoid many of the problems of traditional daycare. No matter what they decide. When you are married, employed, in your 30s, and make a baby, you need to be prepared to provide financial support for that child, including child care. NTA. Their choice to have a child. They can pay for a daycare or nanny instead of expecting you to do it for free. NTA old timer. Your son isn't entitled to your help, especially if he won't tell you for how long it's needed. Maybe try r/parenting. NTA. 59 is not 42. I can understand keeping your grandbaby occasionally. Every day though. Kill me now. Maybe offer one day a week. Millions of children attend/have attended daycare. He will be just fine. I wouldn't. It is giving a concession. If you give people like this an inch they will take a mile. Definitely NTA. Your son is a grown man. Him and his wife chose to start a family as adults. That child is 100% their responsibility and they need to act as such. I understand having grandma and grandpa babysit from time to time. But, and I mean this is in the nicest way possible, you're too old to be taking care of a baby full time. My grandparents have arthritis and chronic pain as well. And the two of them can barely handle taking care of themselves. I think you need to really make it clear to him that your first son and granddaughter needed your help all those years ago because it was a delicate and very difficult situation. Your child had a kid when he was still a child. Your adult son needs to understand how big of a difference that is. I wish you the best of luck. And congrats on the grandkids. NTA. Different situation at a different stage of life. NTA. Your son and his wife are being rather entitled emo. What went on with your eldest was more a case of helping him help himself, so that he could gain independence and do right by his baby girl. Not at all like your other son's situation. They are grown. Financially and relationship wise stable. i.e. they have options. Security. NTA. You didn't retire to work a full-time job for free. Tell them straight up that you would be willing to be their backup for days when the daycare is closed, but aren't able to be a full-time nanny. I love that first sentence. Have an upvote. NTA. Sorry son #2 and wife belong on r/entitled parents. Let them solve this themselves. Enjoy your limited freedom. Value your time. Don't give it away. Edit one spelling, see below. /r/entitled parents. NTA. You. Helping to raise your own child while he raises his child is one thing. You. Helping to raise your grandchild because daddy and mommy can't be bothered to figure it out is another. Exactly. Your 16-year was a minor. NTA not your responsibility. Enjoy your retirement. Quick story, my neighbors started watching granddaughter during the week while parents worked. Then they added weekends because parents wanted to relax and enjoy their weekends. Then granddaughter started spending the nights because it was easier for grandma to get her on the bus to kindergarten. Then neighbor was so relieved when she started full-time school BC, then she'd at least have a few hours to herself during the day. But then surprise. Daughter announces she's pregnant. And the cycle starts over again. How with 2 kids? Long story short, put your foot down now. Your responsibility and their expectations and entitlement will likely only get worse. Offer to watch the baby during date nights or emergency if you want. Wow. That's insane. So they're popping out babies to send to grandma to raise, and they basically just come visit their own kids when it's convenient? Are they junkies or something? At 35 with a family of his own. Your son is too old for this favorites bullshit. Say NTA. NTA. When my oldest son was 16 he got his girlfriend pregnant. Now, the issue at hand is not with him. It's with his younger brother. He's 35 and married. He and his wife had my grandson last year. He's 10 months now. Those are 2 completely different sets of circumstances, and your son is being an asshole if he chooses not to recognize that. You helping your 16-year-old who is struggling to make it as a single parent is nowhere near the same as your 35-year-old married son and his wife expecting you to be their free childcare. One of my brothers got his girlfriend pregnant at 16. She had to hide the pregnancy to avoid being forced into an abortion. So the baby clearly wasn't welcome at her home. So she mostly lived with us during her early years in my mom's home. My mom and my entire family did a lot to help my brother and his girlfriend. We all did our part and pitched in. When I have a child, I'm 34. I would never even expect that level of involvement from my mother in the raising of my child. Not because she loves me any less or played favorites, but because I'm not a 16-year-old still living at home. I'm a grown-ass woman who damn well better be able to take care of a baby, or I have no business having one. If a married couple planned for a baby without any thought or ability as to care for it after birth without free reliance on third parties, they already started as shitty parents. This is just the tip of the iceberg. NTA. NTA. Also, to your son, shaming him and his wife on the internet. We don't know who the fuck you are, man. We don't care. Your brother had the help of your parents to raise your niece because he needed it. You just want it. Seriously, how embarrassingly immature can 2 grown-ass married people be? Getting embarrassed after seeing this and lashing out only shows that he knows they're being assholes and doesn't enjoy having the light shone on this behavior. To Op's son and his wife, grow the fuck up and learn how to be responsible parents. Your mother owes you nothing. I'll let this post stay up and let this be a lesson to him. You should let your son know that it actually doesn't matter whether you delete the post or not. A copy is automatically saved in the comments. So your son's entitled, and Aish behavior is on the internet forever. Maybe he should think about that the next time he chooses to be an R. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more future videos.